Welcome back to Green Living with T. And as you all know, my name is T. And your home should be your safe haven, not a source of constant anxiety. But between the hidden chemicals and endless product labels and misinformation, it is very, very easy to feel overwhelmed. And that is why today we are discussing how to create a healthier home without losing your mind. And my guest, Maia James, is the founder and CEO of Gimme the Good Stuff, a trusted consumer resource that helps families make healthier, less toxic choices for their homes. So, since launching the site in 2010, Maia has reviewed thousands of products from baby formula and cookware to mattresses and skincare, and has become known for translating complex scientific research into practical shopping advice. And her work has been featured in the New York Times, Bloomberg, New York Magazine, Goop, HuffPost, and others. So through Gimme the Good Stuff, Maia's mission is to help families reduce their exposure to unnecessary toxins without creating unnecessary fear or overwhelm. And today she is here to share realistic, sustainable steps to protect your family and protect your peace. So take a deep breath and let's get started. And if you love what you hear each week, please, please follow us if you don't already. And like this episode and write a review on your favorite app where you listen to podcasts. And this is your way of supporting us so others can find us too. So thank you. And Maia, welcome to Green Living with T.
Thank you. So nice to meet you and really excited for this conversation.
Yes, absolutely. And you did not just fall into this space. I'm sure you have a wonderful story about how you got here. I think it has to do with you raising children, and often it has something to do like that. But why don't you tell everybody what your path took you to here?
Sure. Yeah, I was raised in a pretty health conscious family in Vermont, in the 80s and 90s, and mostly focused on healthy food. So it was always something that I was aware of. And then I would say when I went to college, I don't know that I rebelled, but I, uh, ate a lot of garbage.
Where did
And
you go by just curious?
Oh, I went to Colgate University, which is actually, you
Love
mentioned you're in
Colgate.
Ithaca, so
Yeah,
not
yeah.
far, central New York. Um, and so then after that, when I moved to New York, I would say I was still fairly health conscious. I would buy organic products when they were there, but I had pretty much zero knowledge about all the personal care cleaning products. Like I would say fully, conventional, and certainly things like furniture or other environmental toxins were not on my radar at all. And then, like so many people can probably relate to, I got pregnant in 2008, and I went to like pick a crib mattress, and hence, down the rabbit hole I went of like, okay,
Mm.
what's in a crib mattress? And then, um, then what's in diaper cream? And I would spend hours on environmental working groups, skin deep database, trying to
Mhm.
parse through these, mammalian or rodent studies and see how they maybe applied to humans. I happen to be married to a scientist, so
Mm.
I was bugging him quite often about what different studies meant. And so I started compiling these lists of what I was calling good stuff for other pregnant friends, saying like, guys, I already like went deep on this. Just get this crib, or don't buy this expensive French diaper cream brand because it's totally full of garbage and synthetic fragrance. And even back then, we didn't even know so much about how. Now I feel like everybody's like, fragrance, don't have fragrance. Back then, that was even newsworthy. So and then from there, I had my baby, I was on maternity leave, and my friend, this was sort of the early days of mom blogging. A friend of mine
Mm.
was like, you should put these lists that you're doing anyway, like throw up a website, with no like business plan or monetization strategy at all at that point. It was just like, people were forwarding them around to each other. So that's how the first safe product guide got built as, good stuff. And then it was like, what's bad stuff? And then sneaky stuff were sort of the greenwashed brands, like the stuff you're finding in a health food store that actually maybe isn't as clean as you think. So And then it's just expanded from there. We opened a marketplace now where we sell, some of the good
A brick
stuff.
and mortar?
No, all
Okay.
online.
Yep.
Brick and mortar, maybe some fantasy world, but
Yeah.
not not now. Um, but yes, so we do have an online marketplace where you can buy the stuff that's all been vetted, some of it. And yeah, so it's been a long time now. That baby that I was picking the crib mattress for is almost 17. So it
Wow.
has been a minute that I've been doing this. Seen a lot of change for the better. Obviously, a lot more
Lots.
awareness about this stuff now. But also with more awareness, I think comes even more confusion and overwhelm and anxiety. So um,
Yeah, no
work,
doubt.
as you know,
Yeah. Do you have three kids now, did you tell me?
too. I have a
Two.
13 and an almost 17.
Okay. So it's been a long journey for you all. How is it
Yeah.
like, how is it with the kids and the husband? And because a lot of families struggle because they want to make these changes, but the family won't necessarily like fragrance, laundry detergent. Too many people like are like attached to that fragrance and they
Totally.
think that's clean smelling fragrance. And it's hard to get, that's one of the biggest challenges I have with people, getting
Oh,
them to
totally.
realize how toxic that can be.
Yeah, fragrance is a really good example. It's one of those things where like when I was first with my husband, I remember before we even had kids, he would like throw clothes on a chair or maybe the floor and be like, "How do I know if they're clean?" Because he was they didn't smell like Tide. So it would be
Yeah.
like he
Oh,
couldn't he couldn't determine like this is the clean laundry that he just hadn't folded. And it's weird how at first you like I used to love that smell of
hmm.
Tide or air fresheners or anything, and now after, a couple decades of not using it now it's like I can't tolerate it at all. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't have chemical sensitivities. I used to enjoy fragrance, everything, shampoo, cleaning products. Now
Right.
I'm just, and I don't know if you notice this, even when someone like if I borrow clothes, if my kids
Oh,
end up borrowing something from a friend and it smells and it gets washed with our clothes,
yeah.
then everything smells. It's really amazing because that's what the phthalates do, right? They disperse it
Yes.
and it stays in. It's why it's hard to have a fragrance product without them that sticks.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, I would say, well, a couple of things. One, there are a few brands that use a synthetic fragrance that has transparency around what the ingredients are. One of the problems with fragrance, as you well know, is that it's just a blanket term and you don't know what's in it.
Hmm.
And I mean, phthalates are a big problem, but you can do a synthetic fragrance without phthalates, and they're not all equally bad. Like
Right.
some of the specific fragrance ingredients are really problematic. So if you can find a brand, we recently discovered one called Bloop. It's a tiny little brand. They smell very strong. Like for someone like me, it's way too close to the old stuff, but they're totally transparent about every single thing that's making up that fragrance. And you can like check it against EWG or someone so you can know that it doesn't have phthalates. So now, as opposed to when I first was converting my husband, there actually are some options for people who really like that fake fragrance smell, which is what
Hmm.
it's to me, without as many problematic chemicals. There's some EWG verified perfume brands. Michelle Pfeiffer has one called
Yep.
Henry Rose that you probably know about. And you don't have to just do like patchouli essential oil anymore.
Right.
It doesn't have to be patchouli, but that's the stereotype
Hmm.
to have a fragrance. But in terms of and also it's funny, I think it's almost like I mentioned, almost like a detox. Like if they stop using it now, my husband doesn't like those Tide, like a
Yeah.
Glade plug-in, like we check into an Airbnb. So he's even
Yep. Airbnb.
lost his affinity. Yeah, Airbnb as a whole. I mean, Ubers
Oh,
here in New York City, it's a
Ubers.
whole
Oh,
thing.
same thing. I've been fighting them to put on
I know.
an Uber fragrance-free car.
I keep hearing about that. It might actually be an option where you can pick the fragrance free. Isn't it
I
funny too, that they drive around in that all day? And I'm
all
like,
day.
I know that
I
they're
have
the
to
ones.
open up the window in the middle of
Same.
the winter and put my head out the window because I can't take those things that they hang from
I know.
their, and I'm like, how are you handling this? It's so bad
All
for them.
day.
But
I
yeah.
know. I know. They're the right. You're in there for 10 minutes. It's them
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
so I mean, I also think having teenagers and older kids you also do have to let go of some of this. They are
Yeah.
just out of your control. And
Right.
like we've compromised on a lot of things. Like teenage boys, they want deodorant and even in
Hmm.
some cases cologne and body wash. And
Yep.
There's some brands that like I don't think are perfect, like Native, Dr. Squatch, that
Hmm.
they really like that I've just sort of made my peace with because I'm like, okay, it's again, they're cutting out the phthalates, they're doing it better. It doesn't necessarily have to be to like the like I wouldn't sell Dr. Squatch in my store probably because I wouldn't, there's like a few things that I don't love. But for my sons, like it's in their shower right now because you have to live in the world, right? And
Yeah,
once
yeah.
school and there and there's just so much exposure that you can't. So I would say don't ruin your don't ruin your family relationships over it if you get some resistance, but if you're the sort of the primary purchaser, you can kind of like nudge or find these okay enough products that hopefully make everybody happy. You don't have to be using vinegar and baking soda, I guess is my point.
Right, right. You do the best you can.
Totally.
So for somebody listening here today, um, greenwashing is a big issue with um, shopping. And we hear the word clean or we hear the word natural on a label, which we know. I tell people if you see the word clean, natural, it's most likely usually not very good. You always want to read the label, but explain greenwashing because I don't think people understand that enough.
Yeah, I mean, of course, as we've said, there's so much more interest in this now. It is definitely trendy. So brands are jumping on that
Mhm.
bandwagon.
Right.
And they're just these are marketing terms, not regulatory legal terms. I am a huge fan of any kind of third party test, whether that's USDA
Definitely.
organic, EWG verified, clean label, project verified. Most stuff isn't going to have that, even clean stuff, because of course it's a process to get that kind of certification and it costs money and not every brand can do it.
Right.
But that is much more credible than just natural clean. I mean, first of all, natural isn't safe. I'm sure you've heard people say all the time, like arsenic is natural, lead is natural,
Right.
tobacco is natural, and you know that if you chew tobacco, you don't have to smoke it. It's carcinogenic. It'll cause cancer in your lip if you just chew the actual plant. So natural, unfortunately, even if it's true, doesn't isn't much assurance. So I love those third party verifications. I feel like a good rule of thumb, if you're flipping something over and looking at the back, is always the idea of like, do you recognize ish what's in it? That's not always foolproof because there are some long chemically sounding names that are totally safe and like
Right.
a coconut based surfactant foaming agent in a soap might sound really weird on a label and it's actually fine. So unfortunately, you have to kind of know what you're looking for. The only thing I would greenwashing is a huge problem. We see it all the time. I would push back a little on the idea that like a free and clear Tide is as bad as regular Tide. Like knowing nothing else, at least grab that free and clear version.
Right.
If it says unfragrant, like it's gonna be better, right? It might not be perfect,
Hmm.
but it's not meaningless, I would say. I mean, so, again, I just said the term natural is meaningless, and that kind of is, but I feel like companies that go to the trouble to put some indication, it's probably, even if it's a small step up. Same with shopping in Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or the health food store. There's tons of greenwashing in there. There's tons
Yeah.
of as we would call sneaky stuff at Gimme the Good Stuff. But by and large, if you go in and buy all your cleaning products from Whole Foods or all your cleaning products from the CVS pharmacy, the Whole Foods one, net, you're going to have fewer contaminants
Hmm.
in there. So, like, if you don't have it in you to become a total detective, like you're still, it's still better than conventional, is what I would say.
Yeah, no doubt. And, I know a lot of people like to shop at Costco or Target or something. Thankfully, I don't know about Costco, I don't shop there, but thankfully, even the
Yeah,
Targets of the world, they are actually now carrying some lines, like
they
some
are.
generation, I say, oh, at least get some generation.
Same.
Thankfully, they're on the shelves these days, and there's other ones out there too. So I think that's important for people to
Yeah, I
understand
was
that.
just in Target the other day and I had that same thought where I was like, wow, Target, like I was buying. It's not, it's here in New York City, it's not like it is in the suburbs. We don't, we're walking there. It's not like Target
Right.
isn't as big of a cultural phenomenon as it is in other places. So I don't go there often, but they have a lot. Again, they have all those brands my kids like that we kind of compromise on, like the Natives and the Dr.
Yep.
Squatches. And then they have, to your point, seventh generation, more and more because there's consumer demand, right? Like they're not
Right.
Target's not don't put stock in the shelves of that because they have some moral obligation to do so, I assume. I think it's driven by consumer demand, and fortunately, there's more and
Yep,
more of them. So that's
absolutely. And I
great.
know Target's been pretty in the forefront of trying to make changes, and others start to follow big corporations like that, which is good for everybody.
Yeah.
But greenwashing is there, and people just need to be aware. And I think what you
Yeah.
said, don't look at the front of the label, look at the back of the label. Don't look at
Yeah.
what they're telling you. It's made with aloe. Turn it around and see what it's really made with.
Totally.
So let's talk about some simple things that people can do in their homes. What are some possible, like three high impact, low stress
Mhm.
changes that somebody can make in their home if they're just starting on this journey?
Sure. I mean, I am a fan, if your budget allows, I'm a fan of water and air filtration because that
Mm,
is something that you're adding, not you don't have to go around reading labels and swapping and upset. You just,
yes.
again, if you can spend the money on it, you put it in, it's like a one and done, other than replacing the filter every year, or in the case of the air filters I have, it's like every 5 years. It's an
Hmm.
upfront investment. But the peace of mind that you get just being like, we've eliminated the water contaminants. I mean, good water filters now take out the PFAS chemicals, microplastics. I always say any filter is better than none. Like,
Yeah.
yes, there are better water filters, but anything is better than nothing. So, that because even places like here in New York City, where we have really good water, meaning that it's very clean from like a microbial standpoint, great. But all water is contaminated with
Yeah.
plastics and pharmaceutical residue, et cetera. So water and air filtration, I would say, because you're never going to make your air pristine. Again, I live in New York, exhaust is coming in the windows, not to mention that the floors, the paint, like unless you have built a completely non-toxic home from the ground up, there is stuff in there degrading your indoor air. If you have a gas stove, that's super toxic, unfortunately. It's something I think
No.
is very overlooked. We have one. We're not on induction yet. That, that's a whole other topic, but at least like you can turn on the air filter while your gas stove is on. So those two things I am a big fan of. And even just opening windows, outdoor air is almost always cleaner than indoor air, even in places like New York City, believe it or not. Plants, which I see you have a lot of back there, are naturally cleaning the indoor air. Wool rugs, if you get wool, is a natural filter of sorts. And then I would say, if I was going to tell you like the fragrance, which we've already talked about, that's a huge thing. If you can just cut, not even eliminate, just cut the synthetic fragrance, like unplug air filters, swap out your personal care that you use often. If you have a perfume that you want to wear once a month out or even once a week, whatever. But if you're using body lotion head to toe, especially on a child, every single day, you don't wash it off. It's a large part, it's your entire body, and used very frequently. I say those things are the first things to go. And the fragrance is probably the number one ingredient, I would say. I also think food is a little bit overlooked once we start going deep into like everything in our medicine cabinet and everything in our home. Like anything you're ingesting, not just from nutrition standpoint, but also from contaminant standpoint. I hate to tell you that convenience foods are bad in yet another way because I'm a busy mom and all I want to do is grab stuff out of a package, and we do. Um, but not only is that ultra processed and the nutritional value not there, but it's also just had more opportunities to come in contact with plastic. So, like any time that you can get a whole food or a closer to its whole food form, the less opportunity for various forms of contamination are there. It's the convenience factor just comes with this kind of downside. So I do tell people like before you go crazy on every plastic toy that your kid has, look at what you're eating. Don't microwave your food in plastic ever, ever, ever,
Right.
ever. Like that's one thing that I've really stuck to. We make a lot of concessions in my home, but that is one where I'm like, we just don't do it. Glass is easier because it can go from the microwave into you can even put it in the oven if you want to reheat something. You can put it in the fridge, and right in the dishwasher, reuse it, whatever. So just like make those kind of switches where I would say get plastic out of your kitchen,
Yes.
reduce the processed foods you eat, get a water and air filter, and get rid of fragrance. And if you just did that, those four things, you would be it's like diminishing returns the
Oh,
further you go, right? Like that you're gonna hit the biggest bang for your buck, I would say, is kind of there.
yeah, and reduce the toxic load in our
Mhm.
bodies with
Mhm.
the and you touched on it. I mean, our skin is our largest organ, so anything that touches the skin
Yes.
is going into your bloodstream somehow, some way.
Yes.
So, especially with
Totally.
little kids, I think about all the products, bubble bath and all this stuff that they're slathering all over the kids. Sunscreen, huh? That's a whole
Yeah,
nother subject. But
that
and
is
there's
another.
we're lucky there are so many good products out there now that you can
Yes,
reduce your toxic load
totally.
without having it be so expensive.
Right.
And
And I was
go
gonna say
ahead.
less is more also with a little kid. Like you just mentioned bubble
Mhm.
baths and lotions, and like I'm not convinced kids need much at all. Like if you've had a baby, warm water and a cotton washcloth will do
Totally.
90% of it. You don't need to wash their hair. You don't need to, I personally don't think you need to put sunscreen on a baby unless they're like in
In
a
the sun.
baby, yes. But a small child, unless they're like sitting at the beach, like you don't. So to save money and exposure, I would say just use less stuff. That goes for adults too, but of course it's harder because, we do have things like actual dry skin. Most babies
Hmm.
don't
Don't
need a
have it.
whole suite of skincare products. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Just like less is definitely more when it comes. And then you don't have to read labels at all. If you're just
Right.
using water, especially if it's filtered water, ideally you can get a bathtub filter. I would worry about the water in your kitchen first, but you can also get these tub filters. So then you're even using filtered water and a cotton washcloth.
Yeah.
So
Coconut
yeah,
oil. I always say
coconut
coconut
oil,
oil.
exactly. One ingredient. Yep.
I
Yeah, at
put it
least
on my
start
skin.
there, if it
Hmm.
doesn't work, if you really have like eczema or something, then keep going. But sort of, I wouldn't say you need to start from a place of like how many different products do we need? I think we all use a lot more than we need, and I worry a lot about teen girls,
Oh,
but just the products that, I mean, I did it as a teenager.
totally.
It was not Bed Bath and Beyond, was Bath and Body Works.
Both of them. Yes.
Yes, yes. And the smell, I remember the smell of like the sun-ripened raspberry was the flavor I
Oh,
loved. And it would just like slather my whole body and that stuff.
of
So yeah,
course.
they all do it. They have better options now, but now they do a whole face routine that we didn't have because we didn't have influencers showing us all the things you could put on your face.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a constant battle, but as you said, you just take small baby steps, take the big ones, air definitely, and water. Our water is so polluted in this country with the 80,000 plus chemicals that are being released into the air and into our waterways. So, and
Yeah.
it's just taking those precautions. I love that you brought those two up first because
Mhm.
it's definitely my biggest thing is the air and water.
Mhm.
We use Austin air purifier. What purifiers do you
That's what
like?
we have. That's the one I said. When I said we have to change it only every five
5
years,
years.
it's an upfront investment for sure. We have one near our stove, I mean in the kitchen area, and then one in the bedrooms, one in each bedroom. And you don't have to, I don't know about you, but you don't have to turn them on high. They are
Nope.
loud.
Yep.
You can just put them on low or medium. And at night, I actually love a white noise machine. So I crank them up. I'm like, your body is doing a lot of regenerating while you sleep. So like get it going on
Mhm.
high. I happen to like the noise. Yeah, that thing has given me a lot of peace of mind for sure.
Yeah, I put it on high during the day if somebody doesn't, and then I put it on two at night. There's only three. There's one, two, and three on the Austin Air.
Yes. Yep.
And shout out to Austin Air. Just want to let everybody know I am born and raised and live in Buffalo, New York, and Austin Air 100% of every product that they produce, first of all, is made here in Buffalo, New York.
Oh, I did not know that. And I know we
Yes.
sell them in the marketplace. So
Yeah.
I've had a lot of interactions with their founders. They're amazing. That is a
Great.
great, they are said
Yep.
they're such a good company. Yeah.
There's only one little bit of plastic on it, and I believe they told me it's the handle. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Everything is made here. Air purifier is another thing. Because of COVID, it went through the roof with air purifiers.
You
So
couldn't
you
get
have to
them.
be, you couldn't get them, but there's all these new companies. They were made overseas in
Oh,
China or
yes. Yes. A
Thailand,
huge, and you
wherever.
have to be
Yes,
careful.
very
Yeah.
careful
They're
because
not
it's
all. They're
They're
not
not
all created.
all, and it's about the filter. You want a good filter, a HEPA filter. Austin Air is all
Yep.
about the filter. That is what you are paying for. You're paying for
Yeah.
the filter, not all these bells and whistles they're putting
Yeah.
on
Some of
these.
them hook up with your phone. They yes, I always
Yep.
yes. It's
So
what's the quality of the filter inside
yes,
the unit.
it's pretty
Yes.
amazing. I have indoor air quality monitors that I'll take
Oh,
to
see, I don't,
people's.
I'm like, I don't want to know. In New York City,
Well,
I'm like,
your
I
home is
don't see them.
probably fine, but I'll take them to people's homes and say, okay, let's test your indoor air
Mm.
quality. We'll test it for a few days and we'll look and see what it is. And then we'll bring in an air purifier. And that's usually what sells people. Like all your VOCs have gone way down without them even having to change anything yet. And then
Oh,
once you start
cool.
changing, yeah. So air purifiers, I'm a big, and you know what? For anybody that has a partner that snores, it
Oh,
alleviates a lot of snoring issues. My husband used to snore so bad, and once we got that air
oh,
purifier many, many years ago, it reduced it because it takes the
hmm.
dust. You see that dust flying around, it really
Yeah.
sucks up all that stuff. So, big push on air purifiers.
Yeah, I've had experiences where I like burnt through a pan. I left beans on the stove and ran to the playground with a kid and forgotten the smell.
Oh,
And like how it was, we were moving and didn't have the air filter for some reason. Had it so, and then like days I couldn't get the smell of burnt pan. And then within like, I don't know, 2 hours of the Austin air going on, I was like, oh my God, it's gone. It went. I mean, so
God.
that just shows you that it is, those things are freaking powerful. This is not
Yeah.
sponsored by Austin Air. That we
Yeah.
just found. They're gonna love this. They're gonna be happy about this little plug. They're great.
Yeah, they're great. I've actually interviewed them for a podcast once
Oh,
before. So,
good. Good.
yeah, I love it. So, but if you already have an air purifier, hopefully it's the same thing. If you already have one, keep it, but be mindful that you want to get rid of those VOCs and some of and viruses and
Yeah.
so many other things that
Yeah,
it can
during
remove.
COVID, like I said, I remember Austin Air had a long wait list, but you could
Long,
I would turn that on whenever anyone got a sniffle, whether it was COVID or not. I
totally.
still do actually. If one family member gets
Yep.
sick, it traps back viruses, bacteria, like they're just yeah.
Mold spores it traps
Yep.
too. So pretty
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely. What about ingredients? Are there any ingredients that you personally never let in your home? I know fragrance is one.
Yes. Yeah, fragrance is one. I mean, I would almost say there's probably nothing that I never allow in my home besides maybe fragrance, partially because I just don't have control of everything that goes
Right.
on in my
You do
home.
your
Like,
best. Yeah.
but yeah, there are food ingredients I would love to say I never do, like high fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated soybean, like the things that we know are really bad. But I'm thinking in that cab in my pantry, which is over there, that there are probably some things that my kids have brought home that have even those ingredients. So
Mhm.
I would hesitate to say there's anything that is never in my home. The one thing which I did mention is I was thinking of this the other day. I have not microwaved something in plastic since
Mhm.
I had a kid. So that's like one thing. There are very few things that I can say I've never done. I've used conventional makeup. I've almost any other rule I have, I've broken, but not heating things in plastic.
Yeah.
Except that we live in New York City and we order takeout fairly often, and even like healthy takeout, like Indian food, that's just like it comes steaming hot in
In
plastic
plastic.
containers now. And Chinese,
I know.
and I'm like, oh my God, even when we get just like, dal and all these like healthy bean dishes, they're coming in steaming plastic. So I have not heated them up, but I have eaten out of hot plastic since kind of making that rule. But yeah,
I love it. That's great. I was just thinking of when we go out to dinner, I always bring a glass container with me and put
yes,
the leftovers in
the
the
left
glass
same.
containers.
I
Yeah,
know. It's almost like I actually had that thought the other day because what I do is it comes in the door and I immediately dump it into glass
totally.
to eat out of and then to store in the fridge. But it's like it's the damage done. The Uber Eats guy's riding over but it's sitting and it's so hot too. It comes right out of the thing. So I had that thought the other day of like, if I picked it up, could I walk in and be like, would you just put mine in
Put
this
this
glass?
in glass. I
Because
thought
it's
about that
so good
too.
and it's pretty,
I
I mean, it's not
know.
organic, but it's pretty healthy food. So this is the conundrum of this contamination piece is as parents, we're so
Hmm.
used to just wanting our kids to eat healthful food. And now you have this whole other piece where you're like, fish is so healthy, but what about the mercury? And
Mercury.
and any kind of all these healthy things that now you have to worry about these hidden, dark chocolate has cadmium, just all the things. So it is really exhausting. I really sympathize with the overwhelm that people have, and it happens to me too. Like I said,
It does. It does. What about candles?
candles. Okay, there's one that I have never. Okay, I will say that I have not had like a smelly toxic candle in my house since going into my first rabbit hole on this.
Yeah,
Partially because now again I can't tolerate the smell of them.
right.
But yeah, you want a beeswax candle with a cotton wick. And unfortunately, I have not found one that will fill your home with a Yankee Candle smell if that's what you're after.
Fontana,
I was gonna
Fontana.
say I love Fontana. My brother
Okay,
lives in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, right near them. They are so great.
they're awesome.
The smells are so good. We sell them, and I have had a few people say, like, it smelled really good. It smells really good when you're close to it, but it doesn't,
It
you don't
doesn't.
walk in the house and have like the Christmas tree
Right.
smell. To which I have said, like, that's a good thing. That means that those really are essential oils. They're not using any
Hmm.
synthetic fragrances. And so you just get a little closer to it. I have one on my desk around the holidays, and you can smell it when you're sitting right there. It's not going to make your whole house stink, in my opinion,
Right.
but
Well, you
yeah,
know what
I
I
love that.
do? I
Yeah, what
do,
tell me.
which I love. We'll have an orange, so I'll take the orange peel. I'll put it in a pan. I'll take a
Mm,
stick of cinnamon, some clove, put it on the stove and boil it. It is
that really
amazing.
does fill your house too.
It fills your house.
That
And
really does. You're
yeah,
right.
and I'll boil it and boil. And so then once it boils, I'll turn it down, put more water in the next day. I keep it there probably almost a week until it starts getting
Wow.
really mushy, but it's,
Wow.
yeah, it's awesome. And then I'll just start over again, or lemon peel,
That's a
things
great
that
idea.
you hope you're throwing away or putting in your
Compost.
compost. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that because I've been in people's homes before that have really smelled the whole, and asked them and they've said that like, oh, it's something on the stove. So that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
Okay.
Great. Cheap, easy, almost free
Yeah, and
way.
you can use your discarded food. That's great.
Yeah. Also infusers, right? Infusers are great too.
Yes, we have some of those with essential oils. Those will
Yep.
those will pump out into the house
Totally.
more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Your husband's a scientist and you separate good science with fear-based marketing in this industry, which we see a lot of it. How do you separate it?
I mean, I think it's not only via my husband being a scientist, but I also do work with I have a PhD scientist who helps me sift through some of the denser materials when we're trying to kind of suss out whether a chemical is actually something we should be concerned about. But even without their expertise, I mean, it's not hard now to find. There's a lot of misinformation, but a simple Google search can help you usually see if there's actual studies. Now, again, to parse through them and understand good science from bad science can get more complicated, but things that are like a full-on scam will usually be pretty obvious if you do even a little bit of digging.
Right.
So, um, I think I think it's good to be skeptical of anything that you are hearing on social media.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're in a hard moment or I guess maybe there's just more awareness. It's always been hard in this way of like, what experts do you trust? I happen to be very skeptical of big wellness, just as I am of big pharma.
Hmm.
I think we have to be careful not to assume that anyone who isn't selling pharmaceuticals isn't also profiting. So,
Right.
as always, like follow the money is probably an okay axiom. Big wellness is a huge industry
Yeah.
with very, very little oversight. So I would say be very skeptical of cleanses, supplements that make very big promises.
Yeah.
And
Claims,
again,
claims to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just good to be skeptical about both, right? Like you can be skeptical about kind of conventional science when there's like a clear financial incentive for whoever is promoting the product or touting the safety of something like a pesticide. It's that's
Yeah,
pretty obvious, but just remember that someone's also profiting from supplements in the health food store is what I would say. So,
totally,
and
totally.
again, those sometimes those talk about contaminants, even if
Mm.
the supplement itself is good, it's that's another place where I would say third party certification is so helpful to have someone saying this has been tested for purity, making sure that what is in it. I mean, at least when you buy a pharmaceutical, you know that like if it's Tylenol, there is the active ingredient is in there. Someone checked. With
Right,
supplements, you're like, is the active ingredient in there? And then also, is it potentially contaminated with anything? So yeah, I would say I'm skeptical on both across the board, but not so skeptical as to veer into conspiracy theory territory. So,
right. You
so
just got to be aware.
yeah, be aware. And again, it doesn't take so much digging. You don't have to like
Hmm.
spend hours doing your own research to usually uncover if something has any scientific basis or if it's just, hogwash.
Yeah, and you mentioned before environmental working group. It's ewg.org for everybody,
Yes.
along with other apps that are out there. Yucca is one of them.
Yes, I know people. I've never tried yucca and I really should. It's like clearly right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, right. And that, you know what, those have been, I've seen those so beneficial to people that might not listen to us, but they start to become aware of the ingredients and these apps for anybody listening, that you can be at the grocery store or the pharmacy and you can plug in, take a picture of the product you're thinking about buying, and it will give you all the different levels of like 10, I think is bad. One is okay on the level of what kind of chemicals are in them. So it's
Mm,
we're so lucky to have that. It's just a very, very great tool. And what you're doing on your website, gimmethegoodstuff.org, I mean, what invaluable information that you are offering people, that you don't have to do all this research yourself. You have people like Maya that has done hours and hours and decades of research on products. So it's great that you offer that and have a marketplace for that as well.
yeah, thank you. That's the idea is like we're hopefully doing some of it for you so that it,
Yeah,
because as you know, T, it's just there's so many nuances. I wish there
there
were like a
is.
hard and fast rule where you could just be like, this is always good, this is always bad, like that just, and it changes, of course, and there's new
It
products every
does.
day, and it's very hard to keep up with. But yes, I should be better about using some of those apps. I know pretty well because I've been doing this for so long. I can flip over a label typically
Me
and
too.
make a decision. I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure you do
Yeah.
too. But I've seen my friend with the app, and I was with him the other day, and he was in the grocery store being like, "I'm not going to buy this one. I'm going to buy that one." So I think that's amazing. And the EWG has been a huge resource for me since I started.
Oh, yeah. They've been
And
around the
they're real
longest.
scientists. I
Hmm.
love them because they're bipartisan,
Yep.
they're just like following the real science wherever that leads them. And they're a nonprofit. So,
Yep.
they're really invaluable too.
Yeah. Just to touch on EWG also regarding your water, you can go to Environmental Working Group and plug in your zip code. They have a water, you just EWG water, and you can plug in your zip code. And they have taken all of the water reports from around the country,
Mm,
and it will tell you what contaminants are in your water, because
that's so
our
cool.
right, our water companies are there to make sure there's not bacteria in the water, but they do nothing about the chemicals that are in the water. They can't, they're not equipped to. I think Naples, Florida is the only one that I've heard
Oh,
of that does reverse osmosis. So that
wow.
in
I
the
didn't know
perfect,
that.
I
That's
know that I read
incredible.
that somewhere. I mean, a perfect
Wow.
world, we would love reverse osmosis, but it is
Yeah, I know.
so expensive. They
And it
can't.
wastes so much. You have to, I'm sure they're reusing all the because it wastes
Yes,
like three times as much water as it produces.
yes,
So there's some filters where you use it to water plants, or so I'm sure in Naples. I have to look that up. That's fascinating.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
agreed. That's the cleanest water, but it's not practical at
No,
scale.
no,
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah,
If it comes from your water source, it's great. You don't have to pay for
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So,
That's amazing.
so you have reviewed how many thousands of products
Thousand.
in 15 years? I mean, do you use them or do you just test them? Is it, what's the procedure?
Yeah, as much as possible, especially if we're going to offer it in our marketplace, I try them because the performance piece is good for me. It's big
Yeah,
for me. I mean, of course, some of that's subjective, and someone will love something that someone else hates, but I want to make
right.
sure that it works. And otherwise, we just sort of have a review process that my scientist and I, not my husband, the one who works for me, have come up with over the years, where there's a lot of stuff that's going to knock stuff out right out of the gate, like
Right.
phthalates, fragrance, paraben. Like we have a
Yeah.
long never list. So those things are immediately deemed either sneaky stuff or bad stuff. And then anything that's borderline, he goes deeper on the science, and then we make the decision of, is it best stuff, is it good stuff? We sort of try to, and that's an art as much as it is a science, because we also take into
Definitely.
consideration, like, who is it being used on? Baby products were incredibly strict, like very, very little room um, for anything questionable. Because also the performance, we always joke that like a baby shampoo doesn't have to do much. Shampoo for us, the performance becomes more important, and maybe we're willing, you wash it off, you might not use it every day. We might be willing to have a little more synthetic something if it's pretty safe to not have our hair look limp later. So we take a lot of the actual mode of exposure and the person using it into account as well. And then try to also balance the environmental impact, because I would love for those to always be aligned, but there are some cases where something is better for us, but it's being imported from a place where, it's burning a lot of fossil fuels to get it over to this country. So trying to balance human health, environmental health, it's a lot of factors, but after this long of it, we've got a good system for taking a product from, like, oh, I just heard about this, to actually being included in one of our guides, or even stricter in our marketplace.
I love it. You do the work for us.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yep, absolutely. Are there certain brands or products, categories that have really impressed you the most over the years, or certain ones, here's a promo we could do for certain products, but I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, Austin Air. No, yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to Austin Air, no, there's a lot of, I mean, again, there's more and more. I feel like for personal care for babies and kids, I really love Carina Organics. I think they're doing a lot
Yep.
really well. Um, I am a fan for supplements. I really like this brand Needed. They do a lot of third-party testing for the purity and potency. I've met the founders there. They're like very
Love
science-based.
that. I haven't
Yeah.
heard of them.
Yeah, they started as like a prenatal line, but I take a lot of stuff that they also just have, like, now general supplements. I'm trying to think of some of my other favorites across categories. I love this brand Sonnet for cleaning products. It really works well. It is from Germany, so now we're in the piece of, like, I don't love importing shipping all my stuff, like shipping bottles of mostly water, which is what cleaning products are.
Right.
Um, and on the line of mostly water, there is a company called Meliora that does
Is that how it's
like,
pronounced? I've always said Meloria.
oh, it could
I didn't
be.
know.
Not that I've
Just
ever heard
curious.
it said out loud. It could be Meloria.
I don't even
That
know.
but they do like refillable, I'm very interested in brands that are doing environmentally friendly
Hmm.
cleaning and skincare, refillable, concentrate. I mean,
Yes.
most cleaning products are 99% water with this much
Yep.
cleaning product. Oh, I know. Healthy Baby is all EWG verified. It's diapers and wipes, but it is also cleaning products, and they do like stainless steel bottles that are refillable. And
Love that.
also the idea that you need 20 different cleaning products. It's the same concentrate for like
Yeah.
hand soap, all purpose, and it's just different concentrations. Like you put a little more in the hand soap one. The water to product ratio is different, but love what they're doing. I'm sure I could think of more, because more and more there's better options than ever.
I use Molly Suds for
Oh,
my
I love Molly Suds.
laundry.
They're great. Molly Suds laundry is great. You find it works well. I don't know if I
Love
love
it.
it from an ingredient standpoint.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah,
Good.
I love her whole story and how she
Yes,
discovered.
she's great. She's
Yeah, she's
great.
amazing.
They're
I
a
know.
really great
I've been
brand.
trying
I
to
mean,
interview
Dr.
her.
Bronner's or Bronner's,
Love
however, different people. I mean,
Bronner's.
they've been around for, I say Bronner's. My mom has a story. She moved to Vermont in the 70s, and that's all she packed to wash. So they were like camping and
Right.
vans. She was like, we cleaned our van, we washed our hair, we washed our dishes, like camping in the lakes, whatever. And it was safe for the waterways and it cleans everything. And so they're like a go-to for me. They're
Me
still
too.
independently owned, like family owned business
Yep.
that is just doing it right. And has been for 50 years. So they're a go-to.
Yeah,
Uh,
they have one actually. I just sent my husband this morning to go buy it for me, but the
oh,
one made for babies.
the sugar
Um,
soap or something, right?
yes, I use that for our hand soap and I use it for washing my face. I use it.
Yeah,
It's very
great.
mild. Yeah.
Yeah, mild. And the price point is a little, I know this stuff is all expensive. Bronner's, because it's just like Castile soap, right? I mean, it's a pretty simple formula. They've, I think, been able to keep their prices lower than a lot of the,
Yeah.
trendy new brands.
And they last for a long time
They do.
because
It
they're
lasts forever.
concentrates.
Yes, it's concentrate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
They have a
they're
lot of
great.
products. Yeah.
They
They've been
do.
around.
They
I,
do. I love their stuff.
I
The
love that you
the
brought
bar
them up.
soap is great.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was trying to think of some of the like legacy brands that are doing it right and have been for a long time.
And there
So,
are a lot, and I'm sure those on your website too. There's just,
yes.
and there's mom and pops that are popping up here left and right. It's so
Yeah, that's
wonderful. It's
another thing. It's
so
really
great.
exciting to see. I know we got to support all of those so
Yeah,
that they.
farmers markets have them. Some people look at the ingredients. They're usually very transparent about what they're
Yep,
putting in
I
products
found
too.
great brands at farmers markets.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
have over the years.
I love it. So anything coming down the pipeline for give me good stuff or give me the good stuff or you just plugging away at what you're doing?
Yeah, we're always trying to keep our guides updated. We are a very small team. I don't even know if I mentioned that we're a family business. If you
Love it.
call the store, it's my parents, the old hippies that were using Dr.
Yeah.
Brenner's in the 70s are our customer service. My brother runs the sort of the whole retail side of it, and I'm really focused on the content. So I am all, but so it's pretty much me and the scientist I keep mentioning, not my husband, the other one.
Mhm.
And so we are always trying to just keep the content updated, the guides updated, and we're looking this summer to try to get into some more makeup guides. People have asked for a
Mm,
lot. We have a lipstick and a mascara one, but
yeah.
people want to know about foundation, and blush and other. I don't wear a lot of makeup, so for me, it's less of a concern. I do have makeup brands that I like, of course, but we're going to do some of those this summer. And then the warehouse is the really exciting part because there's just so many new brands and they're willing, the bigger we've gotten, the more they're like, oh, well, we'll work with you guys. So every day I feel like we're onboarding all these new brands that I'm like going crazy spending all my money in my own store. I'm constantly ordering and shopping and give me the good stuff now because we have all these brands that I've been buying forever elsewhere. And I'm like, we have this now. I'm ordering this in bulk. So
So you have a big warehouse. You actually hold product.
no, we do not. Sorry. When I
Oh, okay.
say store marketplace, it is
Marketplace, right, right. They ship. It's
they
yeah.
ship. The
Yeah, yeah.
brands are shipping directly to the customer, but
Right,
we handle the whole checkout. And if there's any issues with the order, like you're coming to us and we will work with the brand, but you will get things piecemeal from different brands, which
right,
is just
of course.
yeah, which is a much we actually have a very small warehouse where we sell the Sonnet, the brand that I mentioned from Germany, the cleaning products brand,
Hmm.
because we're not shipping one by one from Germany.
Germany. Yeah.
And then some coffee. We have a few little products that we have a very small warehouse, but we're probably phasing that out, honestly, because it's a much more sustainable business model to be able to open it up to people who are already shipping every day to their customers and they can just ship
Right,
to ours. So
right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
very, very good stuff. Did we miss anything that you wanted to mention?
I don't think so. This has been such a good conversation. It's so nice to speak to a like-minded person who already knows everything I was going to say. You're like, yep, 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 yep.
I love it. Now, with water purifiers, I mean, I have a great water purifier company here in Buffalo that I refer people
Hmm.
to. Anything, are there certain ones that people can go to if someone's like, how do I just look up water
I know
purification.
it's
What
hard.
do
I honestly would just go, we have a whole guide on, we have a couple of
Oh, you
guides,
do? Okay, good.
one on under sink and one on whole house, which is what a lot of
Good.
people are interested in, that talk about the different technologies and what we recommend. I mean, there are even pitcher filters now. If you're in a
Yes.
rental or you really can't install something under your sink for whatever reason.
College
Uh,
students,
well, yes,
all my
exactly.
college students, I'm like, at least get something.
Total. Are these your children?
No,
College students who
nieces and nephews.
got it. Okay. Yes. So agreed. And there's much better than Brita these days. There's
Yeah.
even glass. There's a company called Lifestraw that makes a glass one
Yes. Yes.
that I love. So, and my kids actually love freezing cold water. They complain that none of the water that comes out of our faucet is cold enough. So I even keep like a glass pitcher. I mean, I usually put like filtered water. It's getting filtered twice because I take it out of my sink. We have an under counter and then into that. But that you can do that are like much more affordable. If it feels too daunting to try to get to install something, even the pitcher filters have come a long way. There's several good options. We have a guide on that too. So yeah.
Perfect. A lot of great information, but you can go to the website because you also have healthy home guides on the website, right?
Yes, bunches
And
of them on all so many categories from like wooden furniture to anti-aging retinol cream at night. I mean, we've gone as the years have passed and we just see what people want to know about and we do these investigations. So it covers a wide range of products.
and you probably talk about that in your newsletter too. So I encourage people to
Yes.
sign up for her
Yes.
newsletter.
Yep.
And
We'll
of
do.
course, Instagram is also where you are very active as well.
Yeah.
And a free guide. So listeners can sign up for the newsletter and receive their 55 swaps cheat cheat sheet,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, that's a lot of the brands we've talked about today are on there of just like by category. Like here's five good brands, five we'd say avoid for, each category.
Awesome. That's great resources for people
Yeah.
to use. And if
Yeah.
you, in the show notes, all of this is in the show notes. You can also get $10 off an order of $100 or more with the code 10 bucks. But read the show notes and you can see all of this information and links on how to find Gimme the good stuff. So Maya, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks to you. It was so nice to
Love,
talk.
yep. I'm sure I'll find you down the road somewhere
Yeah.
again. We'll chat.
Yeah. I look
I
forward.
look forward to maybe one of these days meeting you in person.
That would be great. We're in the same state, so let's see how our paths can
Yes,
cross. It'd be
yes,
great.
we are. Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks, Steve. Bye-bye.